Welcome to A Taste of Living in Charleston. I'm Bobby Shealy, your 11th generation Charlestonian, and I am your real estate specialist for Charleston, South Carolina. That's the thing you need to remember. Before we start, be sure and click the subscribe button and follow me and share that with friends. I'd really appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about some of my favorite restaurants in town, and I'm just going to start with number one first and saving it for last. My number one favorite restaurant in Charleston is Peninsula Grill. Peninsula Grill is the crown jewel of the dining scene in Charleston. It's down at the market, it's down at the Planters Inn. Wonderful courtyard you can walk into, has a champagne bar, private dining room. The walls in the actual restaurant are kind of an oyster gray velvet. It's kind of nice. Have to have a couple drinks to rub your hand on the velvet wall. Anyway, I love Peninsula Grill. It is the ultimate dining experience. Fabulous food. I've been going there over 20 years. It's always my go-to. Their signature dessert is a coconut cake that is 12 layers, and each slice is 1 pound. And they sell these cakes and they send them all over the world. It's just become this big thing in Charleston. But just a favorite place with delicious seafood, delicious meats, and the meats are paired with sauces is Peninsula Grill. It's a winner every time. It's a little bit more pricey. You do need to dress up a little bit more than jeans and a t-shirt to go, but it's well worth the visit, and I can't wait till I go my next time. Another of my favorite places, and it's way down on the spectrum away from Peninsula Grill, is Lewis's Barbecue. Everybody in Charleston loves barbecue, and there's barbecue place after barbecue place after barbecue place. There is a difference in barbecue. I did an experiment one day, and I went to a barbecue place that I will not give the name to because I don't want to give it a negative review, but it's up there with Lewis's. I went there one day and ordered a big meal, and the next day I went to Lewis's and ordered the same meal. It was like night and day. The service was like night and day. The quality of food was like night and day. You walk into Lewis's, it's very professional. They pull meat out from these ovens and let you look at the slice of meat, the size of meat, the style of meat. It's unbelievable, and it's a Texas-style barbecue. Lewis has got a big following. He created his own smoker. People have followed him all across the country, and it's really good. And his sauce has got a little ketchup, a little mustard, a little vinegar. You hear, have you got a mustard sauce or a vinegar sauce? Well, he's got a little mixture of all, but it's really good. And if you're coming to Charleston, go to Lewis's Barbecue. You won't be disappointed, I can promise you. Another one of my favorite places is Lolo's, Loch Lear's on Little Oak. It's actually almost to Folly Beach, James Island technically, but right before you get to the bridge to Folly Beach. It is a little hole-in-the-wall building on the side of the road. At high tide, sometimes the parking lot fills up with salt water. It's on the creek. You can sit on the porch, eat, watch birds coming in to land on the creek. The shrimp boat's right there. Beautiful sunset. You get fresh seafood. They have wonderful seafood. They have wonderful oysters. Always remember, you only eat oysters locally that's a month with an R in it. But they've got great seafood dishes, great ambience. I run an Airbnb, and I tell my guests, if you want to go to a local place, a little bit of a hole in the wall, fantastic food, you want seafood, go to Lolo's. It's great. Another one of my favorites, and this is a whole nother spectrum, is Hank's Seafood. Nicer downtown, it's in the marketplace. Hank's has been there for years, and Hank's is known for its seafood tower. This thing is fabulous. It's towers of seafood. It's sitting on ice, and they have a tower in each section, and shrimp and lobster and everything you can imagine, and you just pick off the tower. But they've got wonderful dishes. Even though they're a seafood restaurant, they are downtown, they're dressier. Of course, keep in mind, everything's going to need reservations in Charleston. Reservations way in advance if you're traveling here. But they're a seafood place, but one of their specialties are buttermilk fried chicken. Hot damn, right? So you can't go wrong with that. If you love Italian food, my favorite place is Vincent Chico's. It is a nice, beautiful building. The building's around 100 years old. It's in the alley. I think they call it Hudson's Alley over there by Charleston Music Hall. I love it, and it has a big history because Vincent Chico broke the law, sold alcohol during Prohibition, was thrown in jail. He became a local hero because he was serving alcohol, pushing alcohol. Can you imagine a Charlestonian not being able to drink or not wanting to drink? And the governor at the time was trying to make Charleston a dry city. Well, that didn't work out too well. But anyway, Vincent Chico was named for the man who started his restaurant in that building. Those are just a few of the restaurants. There are many, many, many restaurants. I'm a foodie. I love to go and try out new food. My problem is there's so many good places that you go 3 or 4 or 5 times out and you want to circle back to somewhere you weren't earlier, but then that doesn't mean you can go to a new place. But if you're coming to Charleston, we are a food mecca of the United States, and always remember that. Speaking of food, I've got a cookbook coming out later this year, also called A Taste of Living in Charleston. If you want to buy real estate, you know who to call, Bobby Shealy. Be sure and subscribe to my channel. Bobby Shealy, ERA Wilder, thank you for joining me. Have a great day.